Hi, it's Terri, your cheerleader of dreams. I want to talk to you about something that will cause you to settle for less than God wants you to have until you do this. Did you ever see that old movie with Jennifer Lopez where she was a waitress named Slim who worked at a little diner, didn't have much, but she ends up marrying this wealthy man? Seemed like a perfect life until she finds out he's been cheating on her with this French woman. He said something like, "Is this my little croissant?" And J-Lo's like, "No, it's the whole baguette." Something like that. But she confronts him about the affair and he punches her lights out. I mean, knocks her to the floor. The abuse goes on until one day she decides, enough. That's the name of the movie. She escapes, she learns self-defense, she chops her hair off. It made her really bad. She tricks him into meeting her and she punches his lights out. And she actually kills him. And I'm not trying to persuade everybody to become little ninjas, but my point is the story changed when she finally had enough. Well, today I want you to decide in your life, when have you had enough? Like, when is enough enough? When do you draw the line in your life and say, I've had it? Enough living in debt, paycheck to paycheck, barely making it. Enough being put down and abused maybe. Enough being out of shape and feeling insecure about yourself. Or sitting on the sidelines of life knowing God has more for you if you would push yourself. Here's the key. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And you're the one who has to decide, I've had enough. The Bible actually says that Satan roams like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He's looking to devour you. He's looking to devour me through laziness, passivity, abuse, insecurity, fear of stepping out. He doesn't care. See, as long as you never get fed up, he's fueled up. He knows you will never reach your full potential until you've had enough. Recently, my husband and I were watching this movie with Tina Turner. It was about her life story called What's Love Got to Do with It? Makes me want to sing, but I won't. She was married, to Ike Turner, who really discovered her and gave her a start in music. But little by little, he became very abusive, slapping her, punching her, putting her in the hospital. I mean, over and over, year after year, and you're thinking, this is Tina Turner. You're already successful. Leave him. But only you can decide when you finally had enough. Well, one day she finally made that decision. They were here in Dallas, Texas, and I mean, he beat the crud out of her in the back of a limo on the way to the Statler Hotel. While he was asleep, she finally made up her mind, I've had enough. T.D. Jakes says there is nothing more powerful than a made-up mind. Well, with 37 cents in her purse, she ran down the highway with nothing but the clothes on her back and found a little motel. She told the manager who she was. She said, I promise I'll pay you back. He let her stay there, and she never looked back. Once she declared, I've had enough, her career began to soar, break records, put her in the Music Hall of Fame. Now, this message isn't just about abuse, but I do believe this applies to some of you. In fact, I had a friend who was in an abusive relationship, and she would call me crying, complaining, miserable, and I would encourage her to draw the line, and she'd stay with him. Only you can decide when you've had enough. Well, finally the day came when she said, I'm not living like this another day. I've had enough. Well, she's now happily married to the love of her life who treats her like a queen. Nobody can make you make up your mind. Maybe it's in weight loss, your health. Most of us wish we look a little better, wore a different size. We're not all supposed to be bikini models. But when you step on the scale or you look in the mirror and you're grossed out, you're a bit depressed or discouraged because of how you feel, and you might even look at the number, not the hashtag, the number on the scale and think, I cannot believe I'm seeing this number, but it's still not enough to make a change. So what is that number that makes you declare, okay, I've had enough. Things are changing starting today. Or what is the number in your bank account? You log in and you see that number, and it makes you decide, I've had enough. I will never live like this ever again. Or what's the number of, birthday candles on the birthday cake? Jim Rohn says, if the number of candles outweigh the number of accomplishments, something needs to change. So what is that number? Is it turning 30 or 40, 50, 60, 70? Things change when you decide, I've had enough. So I want to help you this week get inspired. With my free download, I'm giving away my ebook, Ask Big. Now this book is going to help you realize that God has so much more for you. He's just waiting on you to start asking Him and to ask big. That's what He spoke to my heart recently. He said, you're not asking big enough. And then He said, if it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. Well, I believe He's saying that to you today. So I'm going to help you build your faith to declare, I've had enough. I serve the God of more than enough, and I'm going after what belongs to me. So all you have to do is click the link in the description, get your free ebook, My Gift to You. You know, that's what happened to those 4 old lepers who were sitting outside the city gate in the Bible. They're sitting there thinking about their situation, and it dawned on them, we're going to die from leprosy anyway. Or we could die going after our dream. Are we just going to sit here until we die? They did not know that they were 24 hours from the greatest breakthrough they'd ever seen. But it required a decision. These lepers were not mighty men. They were old, tired, hungry, desperate lepers who'd had enough. And they got up and went after their dream. And you may have heard the story, but God amplified their footsteps, made them sound like this mighty army on the march. T.D. Jakes says, God will make you sound mightier than you even are when you make up your mind. The moment you make up your mind that you've had enough, you become a threat to the enemy. So, are you just going to sit here until you die? No, it's time to make a decision. Stop deliberating, stop worrying. Did you know that making no decision is making a decision? Nothing changes if nothing changes. You know, Jim Rohn talks about emotions that can lead to a life change. And he said, one of them is disgust. He said we usually don't equate the word disgust with positive action. But he said, did you know that being disgusted with your current circumstances can actually serve as vision and momentum to get you out? For example, seeing a picture of yourself overweight can cause you to say, I've had enough. Having to put your groceries back because maybe you can't pay for all of them can make you say enough is enough. He said disgust is what we reach when we're tired of being ashamed, embarrassed, humiliated with where we are, and things start changing from this day on. You know, I like to say it like this. We all come to a fork in the road where we're making defining decisions, that there's only one person responsible for the outcome of your life, and it's you. It's your decision. It's time to take action. You know, the first action step you can take today is get your ebook. Get this free ebook and start reading it and let it build your faith in what's possible for you. So all you have to do is click the link in the description, get your free ebook right now, and I want you to know that I believe in you, God believes in you, and I am cheering you on to live your dream. Hey YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and to get more inspirational content, click one of these videos right here, and remember, I'm cheering you on to live your dreams.